Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Redditor Radio. This is the Carcast over USC's 1738. No? Win? No? Did that not go well?
I don't know what that was.
You don't know that song? Isn't it the Fetty Wops? 1738. I'm like, hello.
Is that what the number is?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
All right, that bombed. Okay, SC wins 38-17. We're going to talk about it. Friday night win at the Coliseum, and so much more. As always, you can follow us on social media at Reign of Troy. Email us, reignoftroy@fanside.com. Phone number 818-643-7227.
Suck at What's Brewing Show.
Yeah, and this episode brought to you by, powered by Fansided. So, Alicia SC wins 38-17. We had a watch along, and we spent a big chunk of the second half not talking about the game. And I will say, I think that's a good sign. Right?
Yeah.
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 Unstressful second half.
I have so many weird, complex feelings about this game.
All right, take it away.
Okay, this was an objectively good performance by USC once you factor out the first two Northwestern drives on offense. Jaden Mayaba was much more on target, and he puts in the play of the season by forcing a fumble on his own interception to basically bail himself out completely. King Miller runs for 127 yards. Kid is just an automatic 8 yards every time he touches the ball. Mekhi Lemon racks up 11 catches, 161 yards, and a touchdown. Jacoby Lane has what I would argue is his best game, the most impressive game of the season, with 7 catches, 74 yards, and a touchdown. His most reliable game of the season, 7 catches on 7 targets. USC puts up 482 yards of offense. They go 6 of 6 in the red zone. And, put up 38 points. Meanwhile, the defense responds to really tough drives by holding Northwestern to basically nothing for the rest of the game. The second half, they shut down Northwestern completely. They got off the field on third down. They got off the field on fourth down. It was a really strong, bounce back second half performance from the defense. So, objectively good. There's a lot of objectively good things in this game. So why do I feel feelings of just okay. I feel like USC hit par today. And that's good. Good job. I am my parents viewing me getting an A in class as a given. Okay, yeah, I expect that from you. What do you want? A cookie? I am feeling strange. I am feeling unfair to this team and this performance, to be quite honest. If you accuse me of being pessimistic, Alicia, that's fine. If you think I'm joyless, that's fine. I actually had a lot of fun watching the game after those two drives. But the thing is, I can't erase those 2 drives. I can't erase them. And it's, there are universes where I watch Pete Carroll teams look terrible in the first half and come out super strong in the second half and was perfectly comfortable with that outcome. But with this team, I worry that those first 2 drives are as much a sign of what USC is as any of the drives that came after. I worry that what we saw from USC's defense in this game was enough cracks to suggest that better offenses will be able to take advantage. And I don't know that, like I said, I think if you accuse me of being unfair, I think that's fine. I'll take it. I just don't feel super satisfied by what we saw tonight. I think that this was a game where Northwestern's shortcomings had as much to do with anything as USC's strengths on defense. And it just keeps coming back to I'm just not passing the eye test for me. And I really want them to be passing the eye test, but it's just it's not doing it for me. And I think I've been sitting here for several weeks begging USC to show me any sign that they can go to Autzen and make things interesting. And I'm just going to be honest, I still don't see a USC team that can make things interesting against Oregon. And I still don't see a USC team that makes me confident that Iowa won't be a significant issue or a significant problem. And I still don't see a USC team that I'm confident can beat UCLA at the end of the season, which is, I think probably, as I've said multiple times now, is unfair because King Miller is running the ball really, really damn well. USC's wide receivers are playing really, really well. The quarterback is clearly capable of running this offense very well. He ran the ball himself very well, very effectively. It was good to see him do those things and make those plays and feel confident enough to just take off and run in his awkward but effective style. The offense is clearly capable of putting up points and being competitive. It's just, for me, the defense is still leaving some things to be desired, but that's me probably nitpicking. And like I said, I am a hypocrite by being my parents and getting pissed off when the team in front of me puts in a B performance because I think they should be getting A's, and then when they get A's, it's yeah, of course, sure, I'm not gonna go out.
Pessimistic Alicia is out in full force.
Yeah, I mean, you could talk me out of this, Michael. I'm happy for somebody to talk me out of it. I want to make it very clear that I'm not stuck in this. I can be convinced that this was a better performance than I feel like it was if you want to.
I think you are being unfair.
Okay.
I mentioned this on the watch along, towards the end of the watch along. We got breakfast with our good pal Kenny, who you see in the chat all the time. And we were talking about SC's road performance and going up to the Oregon game. There's not a lot to feel about SC's chances against Oregon because of the road performance more than anything else. But I made the point of SC's road performance this year is still not as good as the home performance. Absolutely. But without the context of the first 2 years, we are not talking about the road performance in the same way. And the reason I bring this up right now is because I think the same can be said for this game. Outside of any other context of the PTSD of the Illinois game, of the 300 yards that they gave up on the ground against Notre Dame, outside of that context, there is no reason to be disappointed about this game at all. SC gained in this game Yardage, 482 yards. That is more than any other team has gained against Northwestern this year. It's almost 100 yards more than Oregon did. It's 175 yards more than Purdue did. It's almost 200 yards more than Nebraska did. It's over 200 yards more than what Penn State did. On offense, SC's game, was it the 2005 offense against Hawaii? No. But, like, if this was a B performance on offense, and I think this is a quintessential example of how good this offense actually is. Mekhi Lemon, 11 catches, 161 yards, and a touchdown, and yet this was not the greatest Mekhi Lemon game that you've ever seen. And he had 11 catches for 161 yards. King Miller, 121 yards on the ground, right? This is all about the offense, right? But let's talk about the defense, because that's the part.
The offense is not where my gripe is.
So let me get into the defense. Northwestern, in this game, 280 yards of total offense. 280 yards of total offense. That is less than any performance that they've had against the Big Ten team this year. They had more yards against Oregon, albeit that was mostly backloaded in the fourth quarter. They had 313 against Oregon. They had 282, 2 more yards against Penn State. They had 364 against Purdue. They had 331 against Nebraska. All of those are more. Caleb Tumalefe, right? The running back, he had 118 yards for the Wildcats tonight at 6.9 yards per carry. Well, what did he do against Northwestern? He had 125, 17 carries, 7.4. Essentially the same game. What SC did on defense was the same, if not better, than every other team has done defensively against Northwestern. And the frustration you have with those first two drives, carrying on and tainting your opinion of the entire game, I think is the PTSD of the Illinois game and the Notre Dame game. Because since then, 3 and out, 3 yards, punt, 9 yards. 3 plays, 9 yards, punt. 3 plays, 4 yards, punt. 3 plays, 14 yards, fumble. End of half, basically. 5 plays, 31 yards, punt. 12 plays, 60 yards, hold them to a field goal. 7 plays, 31 yards, downs. 3 plays, -4 yards, punt. You know, SC fans get frustrated with the bend, don't break defense. There's one drive that bent and didn't break on that and settled for a field goal. Every other one, punt, fumbled on a weird run right before the half, and downs. Like, the defense did what you wanted them to do. If you're going to have 2 drives, give up 2 touchdowns to Northwestern, I'd rather it be the first 2 or the last 2. Right? Like, be the first 2 and then show that you've improved and have corrected the issue, or have it be like the Oregon game where it's the last 2 drives against the second stringers, right? And you're saying that, like, there was nothing in this game that proved that they can go beat Oregon. There was not going to be.
No, and that's why I fully acknowledge being unfair. I fully acknowledge I'm being unfair.
Yeah.
I can't help the way that I feel, though.
Yeah.
And one of my issues is
SC could have won this game 50-0, and
I
you
still
come on here and
felt
like
it didn't say anything.
It wasn't against Oregon, so what does it matter?
Well, if USC had gone 50-0, I feel like the nothing would have mattered to me. But,
sure, but you know what I mean.
But no, for sure. There was nothing that USC could have done in this game that could have convinced me that they could go on the road and beat Oregon, because this was not a road game, and this was not the test.
Saying, if your blah win is by 21 points, that's an excellent blah freaking win.
Yes, that's fair. But
especially a game that had no stress the last 45 minutes.
Yes, but it was like, it's the same thing as the Michigan State game.
No, it's not. It is not.
In the sense of it's a blah win.
They puked all over themselves for 5 minutes of that game, and like became sweaty.
Yeah, well,
this did not do
Michael,
that.
What happens if the defensive lineman who's rumbling to the end zone crosses is the extra half yard to cross the plane of the end zone and doesn't fumble out of the end zone?
The game flipped on
it's a
in that
very
moment.
different game.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Yes. But like that was in the first half. Once SC had full control of this game, they never relinquished it at all.
Yes,
the Michigan State game was about them having full control and then suddenly being like, actually, let's keep playing.
No, what I mean by that is that these are comfortable wins by USC that feel just they're comfortable wins that just don't feel that good. You know, like, I don't know how else to put it. My concern continues to be, I don't know if I trust that USC, and maybe I'll go back and rewatch it and say, and be able to say with some certainty that USC changed something. I don't know if I trust that USC changed something or that Northwestern screwed the pooch by letting themselves fall behind, by letting that fumble out of the end zone basically break them, by coming out in the first half, by coming out of the second half and throwing the ball on first down, gaining 21 yards on second down, and then throwing the ball on first down, and then throwing the ball on second down, and then gaining 7 yards on 3rd and 10. Which is, again, to me, like, if I am this feels a lot like what Michigan did, where it's like I was impressed by what USC did defensively to Michigan, but I also felt like, what was Michigan thinking? Like, why, if I'm a Michigan fan or if I'm a Northwestern fan, I am sitting here going, why are you asking Preston Stone to be the one that wins the game for you and not Caleb Kumalafe? Like, that's where I'm at. And again, maybe USC changed. Maybe USC did something differently in that front seven. Maybe they did force Northwestern to throw the ball. In the heat of the moment watching the game, I don't know that I saw anything to make me certain of that. What I know is that Northwestern fell behind by not scoring on that. They fell behind, and then they started passing, and then they were screwed. And that's fine. You know, most college football teams are pretty bad, actually. And most games, you simply need to outweight your opponent. From a USC perspective, given USC's talent advantage that they have over most teams that they play, you just have to wait out the other team and let them make the mistakes that cause them to lose. That is perfectly fine. And to USC's credit, there were games last year where USC failed to do that, and where USC lost games because they just couldn't, that they made more mistakes than their opponent too often. And that is a major difference between this year and last year. And that is a reason why USC is 6-2 right now. 7-2, and not where they were last year. So it's clearly USC has improved on that front.
Yeah.
But I'm still, I still can't, I can't buy in, is what I'm saying. I can't buy in.
Does every game have to be a game where you have to decide a referendum on whether or not you're going to buy into SC's chances of being a national championship team?
No. And I'm not even talking national championship team. I'm talking a 9-3 team.
There's nothing in this game that says they're not a 9-3 team. Like you said at the end of the watch along that there was nothing in this game that gave you like the ceiling is still 9-3 or whatever. The ceiling is 10-2 until it's not. I don't think they're going to be 10-2. I don't think I'm not predicting that they're going to be 10-2. There is nothing in this performance that suggests that they will be losing to Iowa and UCLA. There isn't. Just like there's nothing proving or suggesting that they're going to beat Oregon.
We can dissect the Iowa matchup in future. But this is also an Iowa team who held Indiana to 20 points.
Yeah.
So,
and it's an Iowa team
that's where I'm at. It's just like I have seen USC's offense, as high-powered as it is, as good as it is most weeks. I have seen them lay eggs against Nebraska and Notre Dame, which means
both of those on the road.
Yes, yeah, and that seriously could just be the difference. It could just be the difference. I'm not necessarily like arguing that point. I'm just saying that like this was a par performance.
I don't think it's par performance. Like they won by 3 scores. The spread was 2. It's not par. Yeah. If anything, it's a birdie. Is it an eagle? No. But like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's a lot of difference between this game and the Michigan game outside of the colors and the stickers on the helmets. You know, like, statistically, it's very similar. Very similar.
Okay.
It's almost identical.
Okay.
And if that's what SC is going to be at home, sign me up. They don't need to win games the Indiana way, 55-10. You'd love it. You'd absolutely love it. Pete Carroll teams didn't win 55-10 every single week. I feel like you're choosing to be miserable here.
I'm not I'm trying very hard to not be miserable. I swear to God. I don't want to be one of those miserable people. I'm not being miserable here. I'm not.
I'm just like, remember when SC played Arizona 2 years ago and they won that game? They pulled it out of their ass in triple overtime.
Yeah, but that was before I went through losing to Notre Dame and Utah and almost losing to Cal and losing to Washington and Oregon and UCLA. Like, I was a different person back then, Michael. But you're acting
like it's like this was that game.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what you're acting like.
That was a better team than this Northwestern team, to be fair.
Well, SC had Caleb Williams in that game.
I know, yeah. No. I think that where I'm at is I enjoyed the game. That sequence where Maeva threw the interception and then forced the fumble. The ball went out of the end zone, and then USC got the ball back, and King Miller broke free for a long run. Like, that sequence was probably my favorite 2 minutes of the season. I nearly passed out. I was laughing so hard. It was incredible.
Yeah.
So like, I had fun watching the game. I'm not saying that I was like, I'm like a miserable asshole or anything like that.
Yeah.
Where I'm at is simply that, like, you know what it is, Michael?
What?
I am 2020. I don't even know where I'm at.
I don't know where you're going with
I am where I was when I was out on Clay Helton. No, I'm 2020 USC. Where it's like, USC is winning all these games, and it's like, okay, yeah, USC's undefeated. Like, that's good. Mm-hmm. But also, like, we're all out on Clay Helton. We're all like, meh. We all know the shoe's gonna drop, and it ultimately does drop, and then we're annoyed. So, like, I think where I'm at is, I am, and I'm just, to be fully transparent, I think I'm out on Lincoln Riley. And thus, I keep waiting for the shoe to drop, and it makes it difficult to enjoy, not even enjoy, it makes it difficult to, like, read anything into the positive performances, because they feel like mirages.
It's because you watch every minute of them.
I know.
Because, like, this is, like, Iliam in the chat says, part of it is that the team never looks good in a win. The final score is much less chaotic than the actual game. This game was a total mess. They just won. Part of this is because we watched all the game, right? Like, we watched all the game. We can see every single wart. We saw that the game, we need a name for this. Is there a name for the pick fumble out of the end zone? The Mayava retribution. I don't know.
The pick fud back. Pick fun back.
Pick fun back? Whatever it was. Yes, the game is probably completely different if that doesn't happen. And the game is probably, I think there's a world in which your spirit absolutely breaks if you're Northwestern. But like, I think it helps for Mayava's case, because Mayava was not great tonight, right? Like, he was not as good as he was in the fourth quarter against Illinois, for instance.
He was much better than he was against
Nebraska.
But
he was much better against Nebraska. And if this is the blah Mayava performance, you take it, right? Like, absolutely. Mm-hmm. There were like 3 plays where you're like, four plays where you're like,
there were a couple like, what are you doing? He got away with, mostly it was, he got away with like throwing passes that got tipped way up into the air. Yeah. And like hung up there long enough that you just were waiting for the defender to fall underneath it.
As bad as the interception is, I think it is significantly easier to live with. Because obviously they got the fumble, like basically the play didn't happen, right?
Yeah.
But I think him causing the fumble
is great.
It's all like, but again, fair enough, like, tip your cap. You know what I mean?
Like, here's the problem: is that like you keep going back to Mayava's performance, and like
I don't mean to be.
William in the chat goes, USC also scored the most against Northwestern this year of any of their opponents. I'm not out on USC's offense.
No, I know, but
this is not the area of concern that I have, guys. Like, USC's offense is objectively very good, and USC's offense is going to put up points on most teams. But USC's offense is not impervious, and USC's offense has proven already this season that they can't bail out the defense every time. And that's kind of where I'm...
No offense is going to bail out the defense every time. And no defense is going to bail out the offense every time.
Yes, and that's kind of where I'm at, is just that, like, I don't trust USC's defense. Yeah. And
I don't want to cut you off here. You still going?
No, I don't trust USC's defense.
That's the statement?
What?
Is that the statement that I don't want to cut? Where are you going with this?
I don't know.
Because I have a thought. I just don't want to step on your feet.
Okay, go for it. I have completed my statement. Okay, I don't trust USC's defense.
I guess when I'm going back to Ilian's thing about, like, they just don't look impressive in the win, but they do in the box score, is that and when I said that we watched every play, we saw the wards. We are not doing this with other teams.
Yeah.
And so, like, that is a big, like, I'm looking at Oregon's and Northwestern's box score here, and there is nothing in here that says, oh, well, they had 9 plays that look like crap. You know what I mean? Because, like, those things are not in a box score. And yes, I think that, like, the eye test is super important, and this is why I've always talked about, like, I don't know that the win-loss record at the end of the season should be the total determining factor for how good a team is. Look at last year. Last year's team was competitive with literally everybody. And I think if you put this year's Mayava on last year's team, I think they probably also win 9 games.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's crazy to say, because they led in the fourth quarter in almost every of those games, right?
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
I think it's very reasonable to say that they would have been 9-3. That said, Mayava wasn't what he is now last year anyway. So, like, I'm not saying that. We're not arguing that.
No, but I get
what I'm saying is,
I get where you're at.
What I'm saying is, like, we talk about other teams, like, oh, like, Ohio State wouldn't look like this in one of these games. Oh, last year's Penn State team wouldn't look like this in one of these games. Like, any of those, or like, this is not what a playoff team looks like or whatever. We're not watching every single play of Alabama's games. And I'm not comparing SC to Alabama specifically. What I'm saying is, like, you go on every single team's message board, everyone's shitting over every single win. Pete Carroll teams, people were frustrated with Pete Carroll during the Pete Carroll era.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is, like, that they didn't look perfect in a win, I don't think should be a massive discredit because they won the game by 3 scores. Statistically, they did everything you wanted them to do. Like, I don't
think it's a discredit.
They're not going to be perfect on every single drive. I don't know what
think
to tell
it's
you.
a discredit, and I don't think...
William says he would agree, but we were so bad at Notre Dame. Like, again, that's fair. This is why you still need to...
The context of this game, you can't remove the context of the last 2 seasons from this game.
Right, yeah.
So, like, and again, I'm not saying this was a bad performance by any stretch. I do think the defense should be given a lot of credit for their performance in the second half. I do think USC's offense has so much to be really excited about and... to hang their hats on. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I don't know. I'm just not, I'm not doing backflips. I think maybe, okay, here, how do I put this? Like, it's not that I'm angry after this performance. I just am not doing backflips the way that I would like to after USC wins a game by 3 touchdowns. Does that make sense?
Georgia Southern scored 3 more points and had 100 yards more total offense than Northwestern.
Yeah, and I didn't enjoy watching USC's defense play Georgia Southern's offense.
No, for sure.
Either.
I'm just saying, like,
I have not enjoyed USC's defense playing any team that USC has played yet this season.
Michigan State scored 14 more points than Northwestern and had 50 more yards.
Yes, and I did not enjoy that performance on defense either.
Absolutely. I'm just like, at some point, like, the defense shouldn't have to shut teams out for you to be like, okay, they're not horrible for 60 minutes. You know what I mean? I'm not sitting here and saying that this is the defense that I want SC to take in a battle of a playoff game. That's not what I'm arguing. It's just like it was 2 bad drives at the beginning, and I understand that they had a million bad drives against Illinois, and they gave up 1 million yards on the ground against Notre Dame. But, like, these are 4 games in a row where they've got a metric crap ton of stops. Stops that if they would have gotten against Illinois, they win the game. Like, the Illinois game was so bad defensively, they have taken several steps forward from the Illinois game because the Illinois game was several steps back. Like, I think last year's defense was probably better than this year's defense. I'm not arguing that this is a great defense. I just don't think it's as, like, bad as, like, they've held 2 mediocre teams to 17 points. Like, this is what we've been saying that SC's defense should always be. Like, you just keep teams under 20 points and have a potent offense. You're going to win every game, barring the ones against the elite teams. Like, this is, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this.
I don't know where I'm going with this, to be quite honest. Like, I don't know how I feel. I just feel I feel some type of way, and I don't want to, like, bring the mood down because it was an objectively good win. Yeah. I feel some type of way. I can't help it.
I understand not being bought in, like, not sitting here and say, yeah, but they didn't prove anything that they could go out there and beat Oregon and whatnot. But, like, I don't think, like I said, I don't think there's any evidence saying that what they have done the last 2 weeks on defense will not translate to Iowa and UCLA. There's none. There's no evidence that it won't.
UCLA is a completely different question than Iowa, in my view.
Sure.
Because UCLA actually has a quarterback that can...
Watching these last 2 games, there is no reason to sit here and say that Iowa shouldn't be held to 17 points also. That's what I'm saying. And if you hold Iowa to 17 points, even though Iowa's defense is very good, I think SC's offense should be able to score 18. So
Iowa's offense is better than Northwestern's offense. I hate to tell you.
I disagree. Okay,
Anna in the chat. Thank you. Anna in the chat says, Michael, everything you say is true. I
love
have
that.
the exact same
we gotta
thoughts
make that
as
a drop.
Alicia. It's hard to explain, but I think it's a form of PTSD, a loss of faith. It's hard to define intellectually. That's all where I'm at. Yeah. That's all where I'm at. Everything you've said is true. Everyone in the chat saying I'm too negative is true. Everyone in the chat saying let's just enjoy this game. You are 100%. I cannot explain. This is an irrational PTSD response to past trauma.
I think that's the prevailing thought for me. It's like it's not that like it's not like this is the greatest win of all time or anything. No. It's more so that like, and I feel like I mentioned this a million times during the season. We get 12 of these games to talk about. 12 of them. Mm-hmm. And the entire offseason, you're just counting the weekends until football season comes back. SC beats a team by 3 scores, is never in doubt. The game is never in doubt for the last 40 minutes of the game, and holds them to the fewest yards and has the most yards on them that they've had in conference play. Like, I don't know. I think the gloom and doom can pause for a night. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not trying to gloom and doom.
I know. I know it's the PTSD.
Okay,
I know it's the PTSD.
No, can we talk about two things I want to talk about?
Sure.
Number one, shout out to USC's tight ends.
Yeah.
Because Lake McCree comes away with 3 catches for 52 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Walker Lyons has a big catch for 9 yards. Tough catch. Good catch. They were outstanding in the run game. Mm-hmm. The big runs that USC broke off in this game were all about the tight ends. This was one of the better tight end performances that we've seen, and I loved seeing USC not do the thing I hate with the tight ends and trying to get them out in space, and instead taking them over the middle.
The one time they did the little outside stuff was at the goal line, which I loved that play.
At the goal, yeah, I agree. The one exception for the tight end out in the flat is at the goal line, because you don't. It's okay if they just get 2 yards, because all you need is 2 yards.
Right.
That one is Mayaba. If Mayaba puts that in front of him, it's an easy touchdown. Easy touchdown. So, you know, in that sense, like, that one's fine. But, like, the bread and butter stuff with the tight ends was over the middle. And I thought it was so effective. I thought it was so fun to watch. And both of them were really, really outstanding. I think the other thing that bears repeating is just that how fortunate USC is that King Miller exists. Mm-hmm. It is absurd that King Miller exists. It is absurd that USC stumbled upon this diamond of a rough of a walk-on. I do not know how he didn't end up with a scholarship somewhere. I do not understand it. It is USC's great benefit, because King Miller is a stud. He is so fun to watch. There are just running backs who hit the hole and just have that, like, you know what it is, Michael? It's in College Football 26, where, like, that animation that feels so unreal, where they just, like, zoom, like, it's like, boop, oh, he's through the hole. Mm-hmm. That's what King Miller does. If there's a hole there, it's straight through. And then he does that little shimmy and wiggle, and always makes it, you know, makes the safety or the linebacker that's trying to take him down work for it. He's quicker than he looks. Yeah. He's more powerful than he looks. It is just, how is it possible that USC lost Wayman Jordan and Eli Sanders, and they have not skipped a beat in the run game?
I think it's so huge. We talked about it in the watch along that, like, it is beyond fortunate for SC to have him. You have lost multiple offensive linemen. You've lost your starting 2 running backs that you put so much of your offensive stock into, because they were your big transfer gets. And one of them's a JUCO guy, but he's the best JUCO guy in the world last year, in Wayman Jordan, right? Like, these were the guys.
And both of them were as advertised.
Yes. completely as advertised. They look tremendous. They both get hurt in the same game, one for the season, one for a big chunk of the season. And I think there's still a question is if Waymo even comes back. I think we end up seeing him at the end of November, if not the bowl game or whatever. But like, to not have any drop in run production,
it's wild.
From not your true freshman, not your sophomore running back that people compare to Lendale White in part because he wears the same number. No, from a walk-on that none of us knew existed 9 weeks ago. You know what I mean? That's some divine intervention, if you will.
It really is. It's like, I will just continue to say it's absolutely wild.
Yeah.
Okay. Other shout outs that I would like to make.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, obviously, Mekhi Lemon, really great game. But I do want to shout out Jacoby Lane specifically because I was pretty critical of Jacoby after his last game. He had more yards in that game. He had more production. Was it Nebraska or Notre Dame? Whatever it was, he had a lot of production in that game. And I still came away feeling like he had left a lot on the table. Mm-hmm. And that I felt like USC... Notre Dame, he has 6 catches for 111 yards. I'm critical of him because he had a couple drops. Yeah. And then against Nebraska, he has 2 catches for 22 yards. Again, I'm sitting there thinking, like, USC has 1 elite receiver. USC needs to have 2 elite receivers. And Jacoby Lane has still just been a little bit too up and down, a little bit too, he clearly has a huge talent, huge ceiling, but he's not the finished article yet. Yeah. And I think that in this game, we saw the best of Jacoby Lane. It wasn't his most productive game. He's had more productive games.
A lot of catches, though.
I don't think we've seen a cleaner game from him. He caught every pass that came his way. And I will say, those passes were not straight at him. He had to use his entire length to catch quite a few of those. And he did so super effectively, just making the tough catches, making the easy catches, being available, getting open. Like, this was the Jacoby Lane that if he's this player, then USC's offense will just be an absolute nightmare for anybody to deal with, because you got Mekhi Lemon running away from your defense, and then you got Jacoby Lane making these tough catches, using that catch radius. It's absolutely insane. Makes life so much easier on the quarterback. Loved the performance from Jacoby Lane today.
Yeah, he looked really good. I mentioned Mekhi Lemon, 11 catches, 161 yards. And I feel like it wasn't his best performance of all time.
It was a
pedestrian
he didn't
Lemon
do anything
performance.
special.
Yeah, which is tells you how good he is.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that tells you and a big bounce back from the last 2 weeks. He needed this from the last 2 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah. But I think this is a prime example of, there's one school in college football that would not swap out their top 2 receivers for Lemon and Lane. That's Ohio State.
Yeah.
And you could even make the argument that maybe Ohio State. No,
they wouldn't. No. And that's being totally fair. But
yeah, but you know what I mean?
Most schools don't have 2 receivers of this quality.
Yes. Most schools don't have 1.
Yeah. And I want to continue to see Lane be this kind of reliable, this kind of steady. But like, when you get this kind of performance from him, boy, is it satisfying. It is so much fun.
One of those Lane touchdowns on a goal line fade on 3rd.
It was absolutely incredible.
Incredible catch. We bitched and moaned about the goal line fade a week ago.
Yeah.
I think that, like, my point was, I don't like how they went to the goal line fade and then went to the play action when, like, you are putting yourself in a corner when you don't get the goal line fade. You then definitely need to run on the second down, which they didn't. And, like, that kind of stuff annoyed me. I think a goal line fade makes more sense on a 3rd down, especially since part of it is still playing for the PI.
Yes.
Which
they didn't call Like to me, that was PI, and I wonder if he drops it if they throw the flag.
Yeah, and certainly there's some outcome bias. A goal line fade doesn't bother you when you only remember the goal line fades that
don't work.
Don't work. That's certainly part of it. But I either way, I thought SC sort of allowed themselves to show on offense that this was a pick me up from Nebraska, where they were able to get the passing game back working. Mayava was able to, go through and throw for nearly 300 yards, 299 yards. And that's the type of optimism or the type of performance that's going to give you the optimism to use your ball knowledge and go out and pick Jaden Mayava next week when SC plays the Iowa Hawkeyes at the Coliseum on homecoming when you go over to Underdog Fantasy. Because, Alicia, Underdog Fantasy is all about using that ball knowledge, all about using your optimism and how you're feeling about your dudes. You're like, I know Jaden Mayava is really good at throwing the football. I'm going to go higher than whatever his stat projection is, right? Right now, over in Underdog Fantasy, you can pick whether a guy will go higher or lower than those stat projections, and I'm doing that on Saturday, game day, tomorrow, while SC is not playing. We're going to be watching Iowa play Oregon. And so I'm going lower, 210.5 passing yards for Dante Moore. He's playing against an Iowa defense that's really good. I'm going lower. And I'm going lower, Mark Gronowski, 128.5 passing yards because I don't believe in Mark Gronowski. Yeah.
That's such an easy
so I'm going
under.
Lower on both of those. You, of course, can join me. You can, over at Underdog Fantasy, you can play for as little as $1, win up to 5,000 times your money. Join me. Start making your picks today at Underdog. Download the app. Sign up for promo code Rant of Troy and score $100 in bonus funds or bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code Rant of Troy. Make your picks. Win money. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama, Nebraska, and 19 plus in Colorado for some games. 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPEline at HOPEline 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369. Alicia, before we get back to the game, let's talk about our upcoming Rant of Troy schedule. This is the graphic we put together for the Northwestern preview. We had the watch along and the Carcast is what you're watching today. There will be no Fallout episode. No Fallout episode on the Northwestern game. You want more about the Northwestern game? Rewind and listen again. I think that would it would help our downloads, our views, all those sort of things. I think it would be good. We will be back Wednesday to preview USC and Iowa, normal time, 4 p.m. Pacific. However, that episode will not be live. It will not be recorded live on YouTube. It will be premiering on YouTube at the same time. If you're listening to us on Spotify or whatever, Apple Podcasts, you're going to notice no difference. But, because we are going on a trip, so we are pre-recording that. We're literally recording it tomorrow night, or Iowa preview, which is great because they play Oregon tomorrow at 12:30. We get to watch that game, get all the sort of intel on what we think about SC playing Iowa, and then immediately run to the mics and record that preview for you guys, which will go out on Wednesday.
I love it when there's a situation where
the next two opponents
play each other.
Yes.
It's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
That'll be great. The Carcast next week for Iowa will not be at the time that the game ends like normal because Alicia and I will be watching that game on an airplane. Paying for the Wi-Fi, hoping it works.
Hoping that the Wi-Fi is actually available.
Yes. And then we will be getting home late, and then we will do the Carcast when we get home. So probably going to be like 9 o'clock or so that we'll have the Iowa Carcast next Saturday. Gives you plenty of time to get home, take a nap after that game, the Iowa game, get dinner, and then check back with us later. And then the Iowa Fallout, Oregon preview, Oregon watch along, all that stuff back as normal on schedule the following week. Alicia, more talk about this game. More things to go.
I have some updates.
What do you got?
Well, we got a question in the chat from Iggy.
That's Lamont.
Oh, Lamont. Yeah, that's right. Does anyone know the injury status on Reed the center, and did O'Connor come in to replace him? I have not seen anything about John Reed as far as like his status goes, but yes, Killian O'Connor did come in to replace him, and I wouldn't expect to get information on Reed until practice next week. Yeah. King Miller told reporters that he had a stinger, that's what was going on with his arm, and that he's perfectly fine, which is very, very good news.
Yes.
And I think we need to talk about the fake punt. Mainly because of the angry texts we've received about it.
I have not had my phone. Little inside baseball.
Okay, can
I've hold on.
Oh, right.
Little inside baseball.
Yeah.
Alicia's camera is my phone. It's my iPhone. I have a webcam right here. Her phone is my phone.
Right.
So since we started with the watch along, I have not even seen my phone. I have not seen my phone in 5 hours. I have no idea. It's possible that my dad has called and fell down a bunch of stairs and needed me to go pick him up, and I don't even know.
What I don't understand is why you don't have messages on your computer.
I'm not going to connect Messenger to my work computer.
It's my work computer, and I've got my messages on here.
That's weird.
Okay. Can I give you a dramatic, not so dramatic reading of the text messages that we received from one Jake Merrifield of the What's Bruin Show?
Yes.
It's a tweet from George Reitzer of the play that says USC putting a backup QB in at punter in the same number as the actual punter is Bush League. This should 100% be a penalty. Garbage. Jake responds, WTF, 4 question marks. I respond, lol, his number on the roster is 80. It's totally legal. Jake responds, but did they sub a QB in as the punter and the punter in the game was wearing the same number? And I said, the QB and the punter have the same number. They trotted out the QB instead of the punter for the fake punt. Jake says, that's Bush League. No excuse for it. You had one of these with Kiffin too, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I said, with Kiffin, they put a jersey on him. They literally changed this dude's number on the roster 3 weeks ago. Lol. Jake responds, I know you're saying it's not against the rules, and I agree, but it's a disingenuous loophole. Subbing 2 guys with the same number like this is BS, not genius, in my opinion. It shouldn't be celebrated, and it should be immediately made illegal. To which I reply, how would you make it illegal? He says, easy. You can't have 2 players with the same number play on the same unit in the same game. Period. End of story. Units being offense, defense, special teams, not just offense and defense, which I have not replied to yet because it's more complicated than just like, okay, how do you police that?
I don't know how you police that because the refs don't have time to write down the number of everybody on every play.
Yeah.
But I think it's a valid concern. A quarterback wearing number 80 drives me insane. I hate it. I hate that what's-his-face from Michigan, Gardner, wore 98. I hate that Bear Bachmeyer wears 47. However, wearing 80 for shithousery, kind of funny. I also sit here and completely am with Jake in the sense, and George Reister about like, it is probably Bush League, but like every team does some stupid Bush League thing. And it's not remotely, and I agree with you, it's not the jersey switch situation that Lane Kiffin did in 2012. Because that, like you said, was taking off the number 6 jersey from Cody Kessler and putting on the number 35 to run a trick play.
Yeah.
This is doing the same thing in a long con situation where it's not the short con situation. And players change numbers all the time mid-game when you see the big fake jersey, like Jacoby Lane in the Hail Mary situation, trotting out there with like a number 54 or whatever, right? Like that. It's kind of a part of college football lore at this point. I do think that it probably would have been more fair if Heward goes out wearing a number 80 in the big ass jersey that's very obvious that it's not his. Sure. But also, like, if you're going to do this, then go the full way and change his number permanently, which SC has done. His
number's on the roster and has been on the roster as number 80 for weeks now.
Yeah.
So, like, I think PR Jakey is correct. It's Bush League when it works. It's stupidity when it doesn't. If USC did this and Sam Heward missed the throw, then no one would be talking about it being Bush League. They would be laughing at how silly this all was.
Yes.
I think that it would be totally fair if they figured out a way to stop this from happening, that it would be totally fair to prevent it from happening. But it's kind of like the tush push. It's like, okay, how are you going to ban it? Except to saying you can't do that. But then how do you decide you can't do that? Like, you can't put in a player that wears the same number. It's like if Adoree Jackson is wearing number 2 and whoever else was number 2 that year on offense, you can't swap them out and have Adoree Jackson be in at number 2. Because
first of all, that limitation already exists.
Well, you can't have 2 players with the same number on the field.
Right.
But if you have a number 2, if you had like Tanook Hines wearing 16 and whoever else wears 16 on the field, and that other 16 came into play as number 16.
Yeah. Well, I mean, case in point, they did that jumbo package thing.
Yeah, with Gus Cordova.
They could not do it with Devin Tompkins because he wears 8 and Jacoby Lane wears 8. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like that already exists. And if he did, he'd have to wear the big ass, like moo looking jersey to sort of make up for it, right? But I like how do you fix this? You fix it by no double numbers at all.
Yeah, which you can't really do.
Which is not going to happen in college football when the new rosters are up to 105. So that's not realistic. You could fix it with the old school NFL numbering system, but that doesn't work because quarterbacks overlap with punters and kickers in that situation. If you said that punters and kickers had to wear number like in the 40s or something, then okay, well then theoretically you could have done the same thing with a safety, right? And if there's a safety that, you know, with the helmet on could look the same as the punter and dressed the same way and all that kind of stuff, then you could still do it that way. Like, I don't know how you legislate this outside of no double numbers, period.
There is no way to legislate it.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's
Danny says triple digits. I think the other thing
know how you do that.
I think the other thing you could do, this is weird, but hear me out. What if you eliminated this is probably too specific of a fix, but what if you eliminated numbers for kickers and punters? Kickers wore a K on their jersey, punters wore a P, and that's it.
And that's it. Yeah.
It would solve this issue.
Yes.
It wouldn't solve this for in other positions and stuff, but it would solve it for this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, you should be prepared for a fake punt, whether a quarterback or a punter is back
100%,
there.
Yes.
You could put a quarterback back there and ask them to punt. USC has had their quarterback punt.
Yes.
When Cody Kessler did it. So,
I will say, I think that if we're talking about sheer like Bush League shithousery and everything, I think it probably would have been worse if they're in the punt formation and then they audible to suddenly they're in a normal offensive position and he's at quarterback and like he's calling the offense and everything and you force them to call a timeout. And if they don't call a timeout, then that's on them. Like in some ways, being more forthright is even more of a bastardization of the situation by using him as a quarterback that looks like a punter rather than running a play that a punter would have ran anyways. Like, to your point, like, it's not like they ran a trick play that a punter wouldn't normally run.
And it wasn't like that was that throw wasn't something that theoretically a punter who had been a high school quarterback couldn't have thrown, you know?
Yeah. I will say, one prime example of outcome bias, when he went to throw and he was like so slow with his release, I'm like, oh my God, this is the ugliest pass I've ever seen.
It was an ugly pass. That's the funny thing is like, when we thought it was the punter, it was like, he must have been a high school quarterback or whatever. And then we found out it was the actual quarterback, and I was like, oh, that wasn't a good throw.
Hey, it worked. It worked. It worked.
Like, what can you do?
Yeah.
I just think I just think it's funny that people are mad about it. I get it, but also that's
it would have been worse if that wasn't his number on the roster, like you said.
Yes, and that it hadn't been
if you're
for weeks.
gonna be like this, and you're gonna pull something like this, and you wanted to do it like. Because now it's on Northwestern's fault. It's Northwestern's fault for not looking at the roster and seeing that there's also a quarterback with that number.
Yes.
Like it's a long con in which it was there the whole time.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Sam Heward, interesting that he got in the game.
Yes.
To protect Hassan Longstreet's red shirt. How do we feel about that?
I don't hate it. I think it's something that makes a lot of sense. I think it's smart. It feel like it's something we don't see anymore, because I feel like quarterback red shirts are not protected in the same way, because I think teams have the mindset of, or at least I think maybe fans have the mindset, whatever, of Hassan Longstreet is not going to need that red shirt if he stays at USC, right? Because. And I don't know if someone who projects to the NFL, given, size and all that kind of stuff. That's all beside the point. But like, either a quarterback is going to be a 3-year starter at your school, or they're not. And if they're not, they're going to go somewhere else. And so like, there's no need to protect a guy's red shirt in that sense. But I do think that like, if the player's cool with it and the player's family's cool with it and all that kind of stuff, it makes so much sense just in general to protect the guy that way. Because, and if you're the player, I totally get wanting that, because if you don't win the job next year, well, you can transfer out and you can still have a year of eligibility that you wouldn't have had previously, right? Like, because I'm not saying that he's going to transfer away, but like, that's just the reality of how quarterbacks are, right? Quarterbacks either win a job or they transfer away, right?
Yeah.
And so if he wins a job, great. You have an extra year of him if you need it, even though realistically, if he's your starter for 3 years, he's probably not coming back for 4th year anyways. But if he doesn't win the job, cool. He's got a year that he can go and transfer to TCU and be the quarterback there with an extra year of eligibility, and cool for him.
Yeah, but I think it also is... I think it's practical for the player because, yes, USC probably won't benefit from Hassan Longstreet's red shirt, but Hassan Longstreet might. And I think doing right by the player makes a lot of sense.
And SC still might benefit. Like, it's just, given this day of college football, I don't know that we see that as much.
Well, because okay, you keep his red shirt this year. Mayava comes back for next year. He sits as a redshirt freshman, and then...
He starts as a redshirt sophomore the year after?
Yeah, and then a redshirt junior, and then he decides he wants the 3rd year because he wants to come back for UB. And
it's an optional year for him, too.
Yeah, and then that's up to him. But more than anything, I think it's just doing right by the player, giving him that option, especially when you're, Sam Heward came in to hand off the ball. It would be different if this was an opportunity for Hassan Longstreet to get some like real snaps in, but it wouldn't be. Like this you weren't going to gain anything by having Hassan Longstreet in the game for that drive. And it was also kind of cool to see Sam Heward in a game where he threw the fake punt to get in there and play quarterback.
I think we had talked about this earlier this season. Like, is this going to be? Is there a situation where this is a QB2 and QB2A situation?
Yeah, my argument had always been that
is.
Sam Heward is your backup unless the backup actually has to play.
Yeah. Mayava's helmet comes off for a play, Sam Heward goes in.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
Mayava breaks his ankle.
Then Hassan Longstreet comes in. Yes, it's very different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's go through.
Oh, I have one. Sorry.
Yeah.
Not to cut you off, but I have one more
Cut me off all day.
Yeah. On the praise train, Braylon Conley got a lot of playing time in this game because Marcellus Williams got injured.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I can express how catastrophic Braylon Conley's performances in previous games had been. I want to say Illinois was the last game he got serious playing time in.
Yeah.
And it was catastrophic. Mm-hmm. Like it was bad. It was bad. So for him to come back in, for him to get thrown in this situation and then put in the performance that he did, that was awesome to see. He was great. He did a good job in coverage. He did a really good job coming down and tackling guys at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
It was nice to see him just be able to shake off those previous performances that had just been had been really awful and come in and look like he knew what he was about and knew what he was doing and look confident. So that was really cool.
He had two plays that I think that he would want back. One of them was the longest pass play that Northwestern has is Conley gets beat. He gets beat because he trips.
Yeah.
And given the way SC played well defensively in the second half and everything, and given the way how good Conley was before that, who cares? The PI he has, bummer for him. Because it's one where I think that if you are the coaching staff, you look at that and you don't care.
It's not that big.
He is all over the receiver. There's hand fighting. The hand fighting is going both ways. I don't think that's why he gets called. I think he gets called that because where the ball is thrown ends up being disadvantageous for him because now he's positionally in the spot that prevents him to get to the ball.
Yes.
Yeah. And so like he's sort of at the mercy of where the ball's going, but like he was covering the dude the whole time.
Yeah.
And
at a certain point, and this is where I'll praise DeCarlos Nicholson too. At a certain point, one of the issues for USC has been that their corners are nowhere near the receivers.
Yeah.
At times.
Yeah.
And I think that what we saw here was Braylon Conley and DeCarlos Nicholson both being on top of receivers. And if that sometimes results in a PI, I can live with that if you are in position and you are trying to make a play.
Yeah.
I think that that's the performance from USC's corners in this game. I thought was perfectly acceptable, positive to see, and certainly a step in the right direction compared to where they were just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and you look at the penalties that SC had in this game, there were 4. Eligible receiver downfield, Justin Daunu, hilarious. Like it's a long touchdown pass to Nook Hines. But it is hilarious because if you watch
always a touchdown.
Always. You watch the replay, he sees he gets back too far and then like looks around like, oh, gotta get back.
What annoys me, and he was egregiously downfield, far downfield. Yeah. So I get it.
More so than the one against Illinois.
More so than John Ray Reed before. Yeah. But having said that, both of these illegal man downfield calls have zero to do with the play that happens. They are completely you could take the player off of the field and it would not change
the spirit of why the rule exists.
Yes. So it annoys me that USC has had 2 touchdowns taken off the board for valid penalties that were against the rule of the law, but also it's just like do you really need to call that there? Did this have any impact whatsoever? Did this disadvantage Northwestern in the slightest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also wonder if it's a play issue. of like, should such a long developing RPO exist? You know what I mean? Like, like, does it just put him out to pasture also?
Yeah.
Because like it was such a long throw. Like, is that in the
it
film
looked
room?
like
Is that on Maava?
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
It kind of looked like he thought it was a run play,
right?
Until he turned around and saw the running back wasn't there, and Maava had the ball, and it was like,
so
oh
like,
shit!
Like, was it? I need to watch it back again. Like, was it an RPO, or was it a misunderstanding, or what? I don't know. Either way, the rule exists so that you cannot deceive teams by run blocking when it should be a pass and whatever. Yeah. And there is a 3-yard buffer zone that allows RPOs to exist, right? Yeah. And what he was doing was not affecting the play, but that doesn't mean that wasn't a violation of the rule. It is, yeah. And then there was an illegal formation on a punt. On a punt. There was a false start, and then there was the pass interference talked about on Conley.
Yeah.
4 penalties. If you had 4 penalties every week, great.
Yep.
Sign us up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not particularly egregious either. I don't understand the punt one. Whatever. The false start, obviously you don't want, but the others, it's just fine.
Yeah. All right, let's walk through the box score really quick here before we sign off. Maava again, 299 yards, 2 touchdowns, a pick, passer rating of $162.8. Solid par performance for him. I think like that's what you want from your quarterback. If you get something better than that, you love it. If you get something worse from that, well, then you hope somewhere else compensated. But that's good. Exactly what you want. Receiving yards, Lemon big 161 yards. Jacoby Lane 74. McCree had a 42-yard catch, 52 yards for him on 3 catches. King Miller had 2 catches for 3 yards. Sanook Hines had 10 yards. That was the 4th down fake punt. Then Walker Lyons also caught a pass early on in the game. Rushing, King Miller, $127 on 15 carries, 8.5. He gets the. We're going to talk
not
about
18 carries.
Yeah,
15. Which he might have gotten 18 if he didn't get that stinger.
Hold on, since
we need to do the over under.
We can run through the over under.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Let's do this.
So you're going over.
I'm going bold. Give me that over.
I gotta take an under here. I got 3 under to take.
I'm going to do an under here.
Yeah. All right. I don't know who did what. I don't even have what you and I did.
We'll have to update it on the next time we're around.
But here we go for the lines. 172.5 Northwestern passing yards.
It's the under. It was 150.
It was over. It was 150. Under 150. Preston Stone interceptions 0.5. It was.
It was so close.
It was close a couple times. Yeah. Jaden Maava's completion percentage 62.5. It was 67. Sorry, no, that was wrong. It was 73.
Yeah, there you go.
73. Yeah.
Better.
King Miller carry 17.5. It was 15. I think he gets it if he doesn't come out of the game early
with
on
that stinger
on that late drive. But also, we had talked about on the watch along, and then they talked immediately about it on the broadcast. Like when he is your only running back.
Yeah, please take him out of the game.
And
please.
You are up by 3 scores. You do not need to be running with the man. You've lost your other 2 running backs. You don't need to lose him too. So that makes sense. Northwestern points. I said 17.5.
Incredible.
It was 17, baby.
Incredible line.
Yeah.
I'm kind of
good at line making. I gotta say.
Props to SP Plus. Yeah. They called it 17 exactly.
I should be a sharp in Vegas.
Hey.
Like I need to apply for this. Yeah. Sacks. The line was 1.5. SC had 2. There you go. Close again.
Yep.
To the line. I think good lines all around.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I think I did poorly. Again.
I don't even remember what my picks were. I don't remember. Oh, wrong button.
See, I'm pretty sure I did.
Is this not the RoT?
Oh, did I do over or under for the pass? I think I did over.
Why is the RoT meter not showing?
Preston Stone, I did under.
I don't know why the thing is not. Is it this? There it goes. There it is. There's the RoT meter. Hold on. We didn't get the sound. Let's get the sound. It didn't work. Anyways. Hold on. I'm obsessed now. There we go. Bingo, bango, bongo. This rotometer's old because it's after the Notre Dame game. We didn't do one after the Nebraska game. We did put out the link in the chat. It's in the show notes. It's in the doobly-doo. All those things. Go click the link and say where you say the rotometer should be. Alicia, where's your rotometer right now? Probably like a 2 for you?
Where was my rotometer before?
I don't know, but it's. I think you're looking at maybe a 1.5. Where are you?
No, I think I was like at a 3, and I think I'll go like a 5.
Okay.
I'm right in the middle.
Okay.
I'm neither happy nor mad. I'm neither stoked nor disappointed. I am.
Yeah.
Therefore, I am.
I think it meant like a 6.75.
Okay.
I think SC has bounced back after the Notre Dame debacle. Have they played great, like beautiful Hogan Benito? No. Jogo Benito? I don't know how the Brazilians... The Brazilian accent's weird.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't speak Portuguese. No, they haven't done those things. At the same time, they have the second half against Nebraska. Too many end teams on the schedule. Second half against Nebraska, they did what they needed to do to win the game. They didn't let a backup quarterback have his moment. They took advantage of what they needed to do, and they made him look like a backup quarterback. Tonight, they made they gave up 2 touchdowns early, but then they held Northwestern to nothing after that. And that's what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We got a super chat.
Hey.
From Murray. Thank you. Big ups. I don't think we got any other. That's the only. Are we missing one? Oh, wait. I'm so sorry. We missed 2.
Did we miss 2?
When were you going to remind me that we missed 2?
Were those like the ones at the very beginning?
Yes, we're bad people. Oh my God. Sean from beautiful Austin, Texas. We love you, Sean.
Cheers.
You're one of our favorite people. Probably one of our favorite RoTbots ever. And this is not just annoying ass kissing. Like Sean's great.
Awesome.
We've met Sean a couple times. Like he's awesome. If you are new here in the sense of like, we have a lot of people that like didn't find the show until we got on YouTube, right? We've been doing the show since 2013. Sean, back in the day, hadn't been to an SC game, and he's an Army vet, and talked about how like it was his dream to go to a game. We brought him on. We did like a fan cast thing. What was it? Fan cast? What did we call it?
Yeah, it was like a fan. We had.
It was him.
It was Darlene and I think Dave in OC.
Dave in Orange County. Yeah.
Who just like I think we just talked about like fandom and how they became fans and
yeah, and then we ended up getting a bunch of people reach out to be like, hey, I want to like make sure that he gets to a game, and so we did a GoFundMe thing. And like got him out to the Texas game.
The people
athletic department reached out and like gave him a sideline pass, which was awesome.
Yeah.
So he got to go to the sideline pass. The Texas game in which SC wins in overtime.
Yes.
Which was
one of the highlights of doing this podcast was the generosity of the RoTbots coming through and saying like, hey, we're gonna get this guy a ticket, we're gonna get him a plane ride. We're going to get him.
The night before, we did a meetup, our first ever meetup. And it was at Doghouse. Rest in peace. I don't think it still exists over there. Underneath, at the corner at
Gateway.
Gateway, yeah. And that was super fun. We had a whole bunch of people. Met a bunch of people for the first time, which was a blast. But Sean says, I really look forward to the watch-alongs. Thank you both. It's like watching the game with the buddy who really knows ball. Thank you. We love watching it with you. The the story hero or whatever the name ended up changing it to. Yeah.
Yep.
We also got a super chat from Dan that says, Northwestern isn't even in the Northwest. When we did the Big 10 Minutes last year, I don't remember what the origin story of their name was. Do you?
I don't think we talked about it. I think we just took it for.
I remember like a lot of the stuff from like what is it? First of all, very USC like story, except it's Episcopalian instead of Methodist, and then secularized after that, according to the Wikipedias.
It was in the Northwest Territory of the U.S.
at the time.
It's named for its location as in the Northwest Territory.
Yeah, because it was founded in 1851. That is amazing. It's like when people say that the Midwest isn't even in the middle of the country. Yeah, but you have to understand
Used to be.
that the middle... Pittsburgh was called the Midwest because Pittsburgh used to be the it was like halfway of going to the west, which was basically the Mississippi River, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's hilarious. That's the origin there. So yeah. Anything else you got to go over?
Didn't we get another super chat?
Did we?
Yes, there was a second one from Dan.
That's the one we just did.
Oh, we did Northwest. Okay, Northwest. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So somebody in the chat asked what predicting USC. No, where is it? Blah, blah, blah. Somebody asked. Oh, here we go. USC Murray, new USC ranking prediction. Here's the tricky thing. I just took a look at it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of teams on bye. There's a lot of ranked teams that aren't playing. The teams in front of USC that are playing, like Louisville is hosting Cal,
mm-hmm.
Virginia is hosting Wake Forest, Vandy is hosting Auburn, Miami is hosting Syracuse. I don't expect those games to be losses for any of those teams. If there are upsets, obviously that will move USC up. But the problem that USC has right now is that the teams in front of them are not likely to lose, but there are also two teams behind them
mm-hmm.
that have a chance to pull off an upset.
Are you looking at the CFP rankings or the AP?
I was looking at CFP.
Okay.
So Iowa plays Oregon. If Iowa beats Oregon, Iowa will jump USC, but Oregon will not fall behind USC. If Missouri beats Texas A&M...
I think it depends on that.
No, they'll jump USC.
No, Iowa, yes. But
if Missouri beats
Iowa
A&M...
would have to kick Oregon's ass for Oregon to fall below SC.
Yes,
which is not going to happen.
And the same with Missouri, Texas A&M. If Missouri beats Texas A&M, Missouri will jump USC.
But
Texas
A&M
will
won't.
not fall behind USC.
Yes.
So there is an actual real-life chance that USC falls after this win because polls are multidimensional.
And BYU and Texas Tech are not going to fall below.
Yes.
Yeah. But also remember that, teams lose.
Yeah, but Louisville could lose to Cal. Virginia could lose to Wake Forest.
Right.
Miami could lose to Syracuse. There's a lot of things that could happen.
Yes.
But if Ole Miss lost to the Citadel, maybe USC is in front of them. BYU plays Texas Tech. I doubt the loser of that game falls behind USC either. So USC doesn't have a lot of room to move up, and they don't really I think at best you stay pat, if not move up one.
I will say there's not a lot of teams that look vulnerable this week.
Yeah.
LSU's not going to beat Alabama. And besides, they wouldn't fall below it.
LSU, I have LSU on my upset watch for Alabama, specifically just because of the interim coach bump, the fact that we're going to see a new LSU offense because they fired their offensive coordinator. That team has a lot of talent on it.
On the road.
I know. If it was in Baton Rouge, I would have been much more locked in there. But
I like Georgia's chances of losing at Mississippi State better.
Yes. Which I don't think will happen, but yes.
Yeah. Noon kick, even though Mississippi might be on Central Time there. Is it? It might be an 11 a.m. kick.
I have no
And
idea.
Mississippi State, like Arkansas, is one of those teams who's at like the bottom of the SEC, but like has played everyone very tough. They lost by 7 to Texas. They lost by 7 to Tennessee. They barely lost to Florida. They did get jigglebagged by A&M, but like, you know, I could see a world in which Georgia's on the ropes there.
But it still won't, impact USC's ranking.
Purdue's always a weird place, but Ohio State does not look remotely like they would be. Like this is not the Purdue team to beat that Ohio State team.
Purdue beating Ohio State would be more shocking to me than UCLA beating Penn State.
I think Purdue has a pulse. Like I don't think they're a bad team. Just like, I don't think they are 2-7, 0-6 in conference bad. But they are also nowhere near beating anybody this close to this early in a rebuild.
Yeah.
So no. And Syracuse is in a free fall. So is Miami, but Syracuse is in a free fall because the quarterback got hurt and they've gotten blown out 5 straight games. So they're not beating Miami. Washington at Wisconsin would be a thing to keep an eye on, but Washington is behind SC, and Wisconsin is absolute dog ass.
Mm-hmm.
So don't think that happens.
So again, I think
is it Wake at Virginia? Is that the one?
Wake at Virginia is definitely a potential.
Wake at Virginia and Cal at Louisville.
The problem is, if either of those games were on the road, I'd be all about it.
Yes.
But hosting.
Especially the Louisville game. If that game was in Strawberry Canyon,
I'm
picking Cal.
Yeah.
Navy Notre Dame, I think, could get really weird.
Okay, can we talk about Navy Notre Dame?
Yeah.
This feels, and I totally get why the line is what it is.
What's the
I
line?
get it. It's
27.5?
27.5 to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
That might be the most disrespectful line I've ever seen for a 7-1 team to get. Navy being 7-1 and 27.5 point underdogs. But then you look at Navy's schedule and you're like, oh yeah.
Navy's weird. They if we wake up on Sunday morning, open up the paper, even though nobody does that anymore, and you look at the scores, and it said that Notre Dame won that game 55-10, or they lost 17-13, I wouldn't be surprised at either.
No.
Because Navy is
it's going to be raining.
Yeah, and it is in South Bend. South Bend during the day is not. No, it is a night game though. Yeah, that's okay. If that game was like in Baltimore or something,
yeah,
maybe. But yeah.
Got another super chat.
Another super chat from Murray.
Cheers.
Great points with the rankings, and thank you guys. Thank you, Murray. We appreciate you. All right, I'm running out of steam. We've been live for 5 hours now.
It's been a long day. Yes.
Yeah, I haven't even seen my phone in
Your
so
poor
long.
phone.
There's so many memes and TikToks.
Again,
I've missed.
the funny thing is that I can mirror my phone on my computer. I literally have my actual phone in addition to my messages, and I do not understand why you don't. I get work computer and all that kind of stuff, but also
the weird part is this podcast run by our employer.
Yeah.
So
fan sided.
like me talking about not putting my phone on my work computer has nothing to do with fan-sided in my employer. It's just why would I connect my work computer to my phone?
Why wouldn't you connect your work computer to your phone?
Because we have group chats that say irreverent things.
Yeah,
And
but like, how is that going to end up being an issue on your, like, how is that going to be a problem? Like, do you think that work is micromanaging and looking at, like,
No.
the messages you send to the jiggle bag chat?
You don't have to tell people we have a jiggleback chat. No, but like, I don't know. You share a story and you're like, LOL. I don't know. Maybe like it.
Rama Murdy says, kudos to the dogs for being quiet and sleeping. The real MVP is the white noise speaker.
We have come up. I think we have unlocked the solution on the dogs.
I think we've done it. Not to get too ahead of ourselves here, but we think we may have figured out the dogs a little bit.
The solution that we have come up with is that the dogs, I say dogs, it's Badger. It's not Jessie. Jessie's a freaking angel. She will be here and not make a peep unless someone barks at the door, which is how dogs are. She's beautiful and peaceful and all those things. So the dog, meaning Badger, we have him in the crate and white noise playing to block out the sound of us. And so he's just napping.
Mm-hmm.
And he needs a nap anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the problem we think he's so rambunctious late at night is because he doesn't have a nap during the day.
He's a sleep-deprived toddler.
Yeah. Lamont says Michael must have put one of his old hats in the dog's mouth. Is this because I'm wearing an SC hat? The Roski hat? I figured it out 4 shows ago. Beat the... what did I miss? What I don't know what you mean about you figured it out for sure. About the hats? I'm lost. Lamont, help me out here.
What's going on?
I'm reading the chat. I figured it out for what did he figure out 4 shows ago?
What did I miss? Where is this message?
At the bottom of the live chat. The most recent things. Are you not seeing this?
No, the last chat I've got is from Lamont saying Michael must have put one of his old hats in the dog's mouth.
Yeah, and then it says, I figured it out 4 shows ago. Beat them. Oh, hold on. Is he saying he figured it out how to deal with the dogs? You beat the dogs? Is that what he's saying? Is he just joking about that? I don't know. I don't know what he's saying.
I still don't see this.
I don't know. Anyways, about the hats. Can we tell people my...
Well, I mean... Our boss clearly watches the show
okay.
and will know.
I wasn't going to... We can talk about that, too.
Oh, we're going to talk about your hat calendar?
Yes, I have a hat calendar spreadsheet. So I can tell you what hat I wore for what episode. Because I don't want to wear the same hat for 2 episodes in a row. Or anything remotely close. And so, like, I just pulled up my spreadsheet here. I can tell you, episode 593 on March 19th, I wore my D-backs hat. Episode 601, June 12th, my mom's birthday, I wore this Roski hat. It's the last time I wore it. I was thinking about this earlier, before we started the pod, because I had my red Tiger Woods hat on for the watch-along. I was thinking earlier, what if... Jesse Cohen, who's over at All the King's Men, great podcast. We love Jesse. Love everybody named Jesse, honestly. He has a thing where he's got an old crusty Kings Devils cap that's from the 2012 Stanley Cup playoffs, the Stanley Cup final against the Devils. And he will bring this out as like his lucky hat. And it's like, it's old and crusty and faded. It's like practically gray, like light, ugly gray. Like it's an old, crusty, dirty looking hat. So he will bring this out when you need to go to the hat, right? If you listen to Pete Arbogast during the Pete Carroll era, they used to wear Hawaiian shirts under their shirts. And when things got a little weird, when after Maava would have thrown the interception, and if Northwestern ends up actually scoring on that play, they would have pulled out the Hawaiian shirts. You know what I mean? Like, this was the thing. What if I do something similar, but I wear the SC hat as a sign of it was a good win.
Okay.
Could that be a bit?
You could make it a bit.
Would people enjoy it, or would people think that it's weird, or would people just not even notice or even care?
I think you should wear the SC hat if it was a good win.
And all three people that are interested would like tune in, like, what hat is he gonna wear? Oh my God, is he gonna do it?
Then
is he
we
gonna
get
pull
to
it
debate
out?
what games this year would you have worn the hat, and what games would you not have worn the hat?
Michigan.
You would have worn the hat.
Yeah.
Would you have worn it Michigan State?
No.
Purdue?
I might have worn it for Purdue just because it was a road win in the Eastern time zone. And maybe.
Georgia Southern?
No.
Missouri?
No.
State?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. I dig it then. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Because you can't do it every time. You can't just do it because USC wins. It has to be a good
Iggy
win.
says, do you know what hat you wore when we met in Arizona? I am 99% sure it was a Rain of Troy hat. I know what shirt I wore. It was a plaid yellow button-down shirt. I know this for a fact.
I don't know what I wore yesterday, so.
Well, I know this for a fact because we had pictures from that meetup.
Uh-huh.
Also, it was the meetup that was literally almost 6 years ago to the day. It was November 9th. That was the weekend that you came out to Arizona. So I remember everything.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good weekend.
All right. What else do we got in here? Anything else? 11:55. This is a good use of your time. Yeah, I'm telling you. If this isn't a sign that I've got the tism and really odd
a little
ADHD,
bit too much Tylenol in your youth.
I don't know what is. Give me a number and I'll tell you. Episode 609, Alabama white sauce hat. Yeah. I've got the list. So, all right. If it's a bad loss, you have to wear your hat backwards.
It's a new hat science.
No, but Shotgun is the backward hat guy.
That's true.
I can't take his bit. Yeah. If we win out, don't change your hat. Okay. We just pick one hat and I just wear that forever?
Well, that's like me. With like my shirts and stuff. Like I try to wear a shirt that USC has worn, that USC has won while I've been wearing, and I try not to wear the shirts that USC has lost while I've been wearing.
I will tell you, the stupid thing about the hat thing, about me getting weird about the hats, is I do not have this same thought. Well, I do have the same concern, but I don't have the same diligence about shirts. In part because I have this fear that people are going to see that, oh my God, he's wearing the same shirt that he wore for the preview like 2 days ago. Like, oh my God. I have like 38 of these gray Carhartt shirts. They're all the same shirt.
Meanwhile, I just have V-necks of various colors in duplicate.
Yeah.
That's all I wear.
All right.
He's also the person who has a meeting, who will wear one hat in a meeting with his boss, and if they then go into another meeting, then he will change the hat.
Okay, so let me tell you what happened. I had a meeting with my boss last week. She is a Missouri grad, M-I-Z. So I wore this hat. It's a Michigan hat. It's very comfortable. I love this hat. It's so comfortable, but it's a Michigan hat. I wore this to that meeting because my thought is, it looks like a Block M, kind of like Missouri. And she starts the call with, are you wearing a Michigan hat? And I'm like, I am, yes. So anyways, we have a meeting, and immediately after this meeting, both her and I are in another meeting to the point where like, okay, I'm hopping off this. Well, okay, we'll see you in that one. Okay, cool, bye. And it's one of those things. So last week I did this, and I did it this week, where as soon as I go from that meeting to the next meeting, switch hats, and I'm in the next meeting with the new hat. And so I have been doing this bit for 2 weeks now, strictly to see how long it takes until she notices that I switch hats between meetings. And I think she would notice because she's commented on my hats before.
Because she's noticing what hat you're wearing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does she think you changed out of the Michigan hat? Was it into the Roski hat or was it a different hat?
I don't remember what I wore for the second mini last time. Yeah.
Does she think you changed the hat because she called it out?
Maybe, but I did it again this week and I didn't wear the Michigan hat for the first one. For the first one, I think I wore my not vintage hat. And then for the second one, I wore the Yard Goats. All right, people are turning out. We had 155 people a minute ago. We're at 150 now. So yeah, people
Five people really don't like the hat talk.
But MC says, I have a RoT hat. Awesome.
Hey.
We love that. I have my RoT hat somewhere. I don't know where it is. But I want to do merch again.
I miss our merch.
So we need to figure out how to do that. Mm-hmm. It's probably something that will have to be a thing in the off season or something. There's a million things on our agenda at the moment, like packing so we can go out of the country.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
We can end on this. Lincoln Riley was asked in his post-game press conference about the rumors about him potentially leaving USC.
Oh, can I guess what he said?
Okay.
I'm not even focused on that. We just won a game by 3 scores, and my commitment is to this program. He's not a program guy. To this program, and that's where my focus is. I came here to do a job, and I'm doing that job, and I'm playing for my player. I'm coaching for my players, and this is my priority. I have no interest in anything else right now. How close was I?
You guys know what I sacrificed to come here. I'm where I need to be.
That's a pretty good answer.
It's a pretty good answer.
It's a pretty good answer.
Yeah.
I like the Lane Kiffin thing, by the way. Do you not
remember
hear this?
it. I know I heard it. I don't remember it.
That Lane Kiffin was like, yeah, I hope them talked about with these jobs because like that's a sign that we're doing something right. And like he went to the players and was like, all of these rumors are because you guys are working hard and because we are all working hard. And like, I want you, basically the crux of the story is like, I want you guys to like, be able to up your life and that should work for everybody in this room. Like we're all in it together which is just coach bullshit, right?
Yeah.
No, I think it's probably the right thing to say. Yeah.
Corbin in the chat says Jesse and Badger bobbleheads. I think Jesse and Badger merch would be good.
Okay. I like that. Yeah. Friday Night MC says bring back the RoT shirts. Mark says today I was in my SC pajamas and socks. Well, I think you got to wear that next few weeks until SC loses with you in it. You got to keep it up. Got to keep going. Lamont says I wear my SC socks and shirts for every game. There you go. Yeah. All right. We're going to wrap up.
It's late.
We'll be back Wednesday, but it won't really be Wednesday, but it will be Wednesday for you guys. We're recording it tomorrow after the Iowa-Oregon game. So, but Wednesday, check out that. Am I going to tell you should I say what I said the other day? Or no? I mean, what I said before the pod today about that episode? Or no, could that be weird?
I don't remember what you said.
I said that, like, how awkward would it be if we died in a plane crash? But we scheduled the podcast, and
Cat's out of the bag now.
And the podcast still was scheduled, and like people were like, oh my god, this guy died, and like everybody's like, it's on the news, like, and 143 souls have been lost on the flight. And
this turned dark. This is darker than any of my mood during this episode,
including 2 podcasters from Los Angeles.
Good God.
That have a crappy podcast that barely anyone listens to because nobody likes it. Blah, blah, blah. And then people are like, damn. And then they go to the thing, to the YouTube, and they see that like there were episodes. Oh my God, they just had an episode Friday night. That's crazy. And for some reason, the very 3 days later, bam, it pops up in the in the feed that new episode. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the next episode. Yeah.
I don't even know what to say.
There was a guy. I'm sorry, this is the last thing. There was a guy who passed away from like a long illness, and he uploaded a video.
Yeah,
and it
that's
was like,
crazy.
if you're seeing this, I'm dead. But here's the message that I had, and it was like a really like touching video because like he's like, here's the things I learned in life. Here's my message to you all, and like it was really like thoughtful, but like. It was a little, it's jarring to like watch a video. Hi, I'm dead. Like, you know what I mean?
Corbin, flight leaving LA. Yeah, there's more than 2 passengers on board.
Probably. Yeah.
Oh, got him. God damn. All right, we gotta stop.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll be back. We'll see you guys Wednesday. It's been a ride. So we'll see you guys.
See ya.
See ya.